going on, everybody? Play Funk here. Hope all is well. Well, look like Elisa's just came out with a new flagship called a Strata Prime. And today, what I wanted to do is just open up a discussion about it. I don't have one. Again, as I told many of you guys, I am not a endorsee. I don't have the access to things up front. So, as many of you who've been with me along my journey with this Elisa's kit, um, everything that I have is owned by me and through my hard work and support that way. You know, so I really don't have any relationships to for the product. So, but let's take a few minutes and discuss this latest and greatest and maybe talk about the comparisons that we can see just offhand and kind of get a hypothesis about it. So the first thing I notice is that they have put a extra bar along the bottom. So there was or still is questionable stability with the rack. For me, the rack kind of feels somewhat flimsy for the shells. And I think that's maybe what they have done by thinning the shells out and beefing up the bottom that gives the support a little bit better. I know as far as my toms, typically when I move my toms or whatever, I had to like tighten it down pretty good to get the toms to stay where I needed to stay. I'm not a hard hitter, so it didn't really come into play, so to speak. I'm not a basher, so I like to get rebound back out of the drum. So I'm not trying to play down through and golf swinging on it. So I think that kind of helps my situation. Also, one of the two things that I'm curious is about is the hi-hat and the module itself. I could tell you in my experience, I did have I had to retrograde or make some guesses on how to fix my situations. One of the things, if we take my hi-hat, and I know they got this new magnetic type, but for me, that I can't think of the proper name for it, but my trigger for the hi-hats, I had to go in and figure out a way to get the whole trigger mechanism not to move when you are doing the checks or whatever. The whole bottom piece would move for me. So I tried different things like double-sided tape. I tried glue, little small pieces of glue, but nothing actually held up. The only thing that I came up with that allowed me to keep it down is using a small bit of a fishing test line, and I was able to hide it, but get it to actually keep it down, and didn't have no issues. As well as I talked about prior, just keeping your felt kind of loose, tight but not too tight, But I'm curious of how this would work on this new one. And so then on the module itself, the couple of issues that I have faced is that sometimes the will go out and just randomly just freeze. You know how when you're not using it, you see a little blue light that's still kind of pulsing away. It will just disappear. and I would have to restart the module. And then also I ran across a situation where the kits inside, when you make adjustment and you save it, sometimes that will cause the SD to not save it, and you would get a crash. And so, I had reached out to Elisa's about that. Nobody could give me like a fix for that. So basically, my fix was just factory resetting and just starting all over, even though I wasn't bringing any kits into my situation. So what I was doing is basically is just factory resetting it and then redoing all of the settings and then starting from that. So it was a lot of work, but somehow, I reformatted the SD, try to get that to see if that'll fix it, but I still ran across that. So what I ended up doing is just getting a whole different trying a whole different SD. I still ran across it, but eventually, I don't know if it was luck or whatever, but I unplugged it, plugged it back in, and somehow I ended up getting that situation resolved and fixed, and I never had another issue with it. The other thing that I ran across with the module was when you USB to a computer, I was getting a random 60 hertz power surge sound in my recordings because, like I told me, you guys, I don't use software like Easy Drummer or whatever. I'm using just the factory sounds in the module itself, and then I'm mixing it as best as I can. I'm using a PreSonus Studio Live, the 32 channel, the Series 3, and the digital board. So I'm using that to do my mixing and stuff. So, and then I'm doing post work in either Logic or Studio One. That's what I do versus buying softwares and just using the MIDI. This is like I told me, you guys, you want to kind of bring your own sound to the table. You don't want to really copy anybody else. You want to find your way and make you unique. Just like the guy that they got on the stage, the uh, Estebario, what I can't pronounce his name right, but he's a unicorn. He's unique. Does the stick flips and he's fast and he got his own different little style going. So he's not being a duplicate of one of the greats. He's his own unique sound, and so he's built his own way, like we all should be doing. Versus, I want to be a hybrid of Dennis and Virgil Donati. You know what I mean? They they are their own, and I should be trying to be my own drummer. So artist. But anyway, so yeah, that's the things that I have ran across with the module. So for me is the question, and I think a lot of us are in the same boat, is it worth us, changing over? And for me, I don't have a kit to really say or whatever, but what I can say is that if there's an improvement on the hi-hat and an improvement on the module, those are the things that I might focus on versus trying to replace, you know, or if they made some better adjustments to the tom holders, then, I could see that. But jumping from the Strike Pro SE to the Prime, some of us got to weigh that. And for many of us, it's going to be dollars and cents, But the first thing, if I did uh, look at changing out something, it would definitely be the hi hats. I think if anything, if Elisa's is listening to this, I think your first move should be to have ample stockage on the hi hats module, because we want to upgrade on that. So, but the whole kit, I don't having three zones. That's that's not. I mean, that's attention to details. Again, like I told many of you guys, you're gonna pay for attention to details when you play electronics. So, you know, you just have to decide on what's more important to you, the attention to details, or I don't think somebody gonna not hire you to play on their song because you don't have the minutes on the hi-hat bell. I don't think that that's gonna stop you from getting the gig. So again, like I said, I don't think those of us who already have, it's like the iPhone. It's like, just because a new one come out, do you need to grab the new one? Do you want to give it the time to see if what kind of firmware corrections is going to resolve issues, or are you, because aesthetically for the last few generations of phones, they haven't changed anything, so they all look the same. It's just been inside, so you have to wait a few generations to get a whole remodel. And this appears to be somewhat a remodel because they have shortened the toms, and I'm probably sure that that's going to help with the stability with the rack situation, as I mentioned prior. I don't know for sure if did they remove the sensitivity knob. They had that little knob on mine currently. If you play with a bass player and the resonation is causing your drum set to false fire, then you can make a quick adjustment versus going into the actual brain to until you get home or whatever. You can just quick fix and fix it that way. I don't know if they removed that. I guess we can look, but other than that, what else? Yeah. So for me, up front, those are the things. For me, the number one is the hi hat. Let's see what's going on with the hi hat. If some of y'all gonna buy them, if you already got it or whatever, please put some down in the comments, and I hope we can all talk about this and get feedback on this new setup. All right, this is Clayton, Clay Funk. Appreciate your time, and let's see what's going on with this new Strata. Peace.